Today I'm going to build the most massive project in Project SMP, and this will be the ultimate creeper farm. And you might actually have a chance to play with me in this SMP, because the applications for it are still open. All you have to do is join the Discord server in the description down below and send an application video. So if you want to meet me, join the Discord server.
And subscribe.
Now for this farm I needed tons of blocks to build it, so I decided to make a powerful pickaxe. And I started breaking a lot of stone. After I got a few stacks of stone, I thought I was ready to start working on the farm. The first step was to find a deep ocean, and thankfully there was one very close to my base, but it was still a hard task to find because I'm stupid. But when I found the correct spot, I started making the farm. I was following the tutorial of Vault Rocks, and man, it required some really advanced mathematical skills. Because I wanted to first place all of the stone and then start placing things like hoppers, chests and stuff like that, I had to be calculating the blocks very precisely so I don't mess the things up. This meant that often when I make some progress I had to ruin it because my calculations were wrong. Now here's a quick time lapse of me trying to make the farm. Well, at least the base of it. After finishing all that hard work, I realized I didn't have enough stone to complete the farm. So I spent more time gathering more stone.
A few moments later.
And after getting my inventory full of stone, I decided to go back to complete the farm. Yeah, now I had to break and rebuild the entire wall all over again.
2,000 years later.
When I was done with the wall, I finally started working on the roof. But because it was nighttime, many mobs started spawning on the platform, which I totally forgot is going to happen. And because I haven't slept for days, phantoms started attacking me. It was not cool. But thankfully I managed to finish the roof without dying. And this was the easy part done. Now the real tough part begins. Now I started making the things inside of the farm, and this is when I realized how dumb I really am. Because now that I don't let any light come in, mobs start spawning, and most importantly, creepers start spawning, and they were blowing up my farm. How can I be so stupid? But even through these obstacles, I had to finish the farm. The reason why I need this farm so much is because I'll be making an insta-kill railgun, which can basically kill a full netherite in 1 second. And I need a lot of TNT for that. And the best way to gather all this gunpowder is with this farm. That's why I need it so much. So, even though this is the hardest thing I have done in Minecraft so far, I didn't want to give up. After making the middle part, I was left with 3 more things to do, and these 3 things were the things that took me most of the time and effort to finish the farm. The first thing I wanted to do was placing trapdoors on the entire roof. Yeah, you heard me right, the entire roof had to be filled with trapdoors. This meant that I had to gather an insane amount of wood. I decided to go back to my house to see what I have there, and I saw I had a little bit of wool, and I turned that into carpet because I will also need to place a tons of carpet on the ground. While I was farming wool from the sheep, I came across some pumpkins and decided to take them because I will also need to make snow golems who will make the creepers fall into the trap. But for sure, shearing the sheep was the most annoying thing of making this farm. I had to wait for them to grow back their wool for such a long time. It was so tilting. I was literally about to rage. And after about an hour of farming wool, I ended up with 2 stacks and 18 carpets. And to my big surprise, man, it was enough. I was so happy I didn't have to gather more wool, because this was the most annoying thing ever. However, I still had to face a big obstacle, and this was the trapdoors. Even though I had like 3 stacks of trapdoors in my inventory, there were hardly enough to fill the first left half of the farm. So I almost had to chop down an entire oak tree forest to be able to make enough trapdoors for the farm. It took me forever. But when I finished with chopping the wood, I was greeted with a very beautiful rainbow just behind the farm. That was really amazing. It was going great until the creepers started spawning and breaking my farm. But after a lot of trapdoor placing, I was finally ready with it. However, the creepers did really bad explosions, so it took me a while to fix their mess. After fixing the explosions, the only thing left that I had to do to fully build the farm was to place the bed in the middle, where the snow golems will stay. For some reason this turned out to be a very hard task, because the bed didn't want to be placed where I wanted to be placed. So I broke the slabs around the bed, and it now worked. I really have no idea why it wasn't working. Now, the only thing I had to do was to spawn in the snow golems. But for that I had to find snow, and sadly there wasn't any snow near my base, so I had to walk thousands and thousands of blocks to be able to find some snow. During my journey for finding snow, I found a really weird plant that I haven't seen before in my life. Does anyone have any idea what this is? After this weird encounter, I was finally able to find snow. I was so happy, and I took as much snow as I could. Because I didn't know what was going to happen. Maybe I was going to do a mistake or something, so I had to have extra snow in me, and I didn't feel like going all the way here to get snow. Then I saw that someone made a skin statue as a base, which was really cool. I wonder why they didn't do it as a project. When I finally went back to my farm, I started placing the snow golems, and thank God I took more snow than I had to. Because just as I thought, I did some mistakes. And then I remembered that I have to make the killing trap for the creepers. For that I had to make 9 campfires, but I accidentally made 21. Sorry guys, but I was playing for over 4 hours and it was late at night and my brain really stopped working. Then I made 6 hoppers, although I had to make 9. But thankfully I was quickly able to realize that I made that, and I went back to the secret base. And I was finally able to finish the farm completely. I just put some torches on top to prevent mobs from spawning. Now I only had to test the farm, but because I was too tired, I left this for
The next day.
Now to use the farm properly, you have to go 115 blocks above the farm, which was quite a lot. This time I also decided to put ladders because this was a long way up and made a platform where to camp. So I waited for like an hour for the snow golems to do their job. But when I went to see how much gunpowder I got, I was very disappointed from the results. That was nothing for 1 hour camping. The video said 1900 gunpowder per hour, and that was definitely not that big of a number. So, was that it? Did I really waste over 5 hours of gameplay for nothing? No, I had to be missing something. There had to be something I was doing wrong. I decided to go on top of the farm and I heard a spider. This was not normal, so that meant that I did something wrong. I took the risk to jump in and the first thing I saw was that the snow golems were gone, and then there was a gap that I forgot to fill and the creepers totally destroyed my farm again. But at least now I knew that the problem was coming from that gap, so I knew how to fix it. If the creepers stopped blowing my farm, of course. After farming for more wool, I managed to make more carpets and fill the holes again. And this time I came with torches, so that the creepers don't spawn and blow my stuff again. And when my trapdoors finished, I had to go gather some more again. This farm is really making me crazy.
One eternity later.
When I finally managed to fix the problems, I quickly broke the torches and tried to get out before the creeper spawn, because if another creeper blows up, I'm going to hang myself dead. And of course, this time I fixed this hole. And again, I'm very happy I got extra snow, because now I was going to have a big trouble with making the snow golems. When I was finally done, it was time to camp. This time I was camping for half an hour, but when I went back down I heard the snow golems shooting the creepers and saw the creepers dying in the campfire. And when I opened the chest, I couldn't believe my eyes. There was so much gunpowder, so much more than the previous one where I camped for 1 hour. Now the farm was working properly, and now we could get over 1900 gunpowder for 1 hour. So I can say I did the hardest project I have ever made in Minecraft during my entire life. So please subscribe.